Here we are.
And we are live. It's good to be back. We have a very special guest tonight, but before we introduce him, we do have a sponsor tonight, and I think Stan's going to load the picture for us. Barkology creates small, I'm not good at this, y'all, so bear with me. Barkology creates small batch dog wellness products, including coat sprays, itch relief, and paw and nose balm. All thoughtfully crafted for the dogs who are family. Visit barkologycare.com to learn more.
All right.
A friend of ours, this is Michelle's business, and she is sponsoring our show tonight. So go on over to barkologycare.com. So how have you been, Jeremy?
Nah, I've been pretty good.
Good, good. I have somebody here that wants to say hello to you. Oh, she's grinning ear to
Well, wait. First of all, if she's gonna say hello, how come you don't have the picture of me and her standing together loaded up so all the viewers?
Oh, come
Yeah.
on over here. I think he can still see you.
Hey, there she is.
So you can still see you. Look at her. She is just.
She's glowing.
Yes, she is. She
She's
loves
so pretty as ever.
She didn't hear you.
I said she's so pretty as usual.
Yes, she is. So I've got to tell everybody this little. Okay, you can move over now.
Bye, man.
Yeah, you can go if you want to. She told me, she said, since I'm not going to get to see his face, I'm just going to say hello and leave. And I said, well, that's fine. That's fine. I've been in bed most of the day. I've been in pain all day. And so I'm laying on the bed. She comes in with me and she said, look, Gigi. And I said, what is it, baby? She said, no, at the TV, the commercial. And it was a commercial about ugly under eye bags.
Oh, wow.
And I told her, I said, well, you think my eyes are that bad? She said, no, not yet, but you need to get some.
Dang, that's the way. Hey, at least she's trying to keep it straight.
She's just getting prepared for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. Michelle says.
Here's Michelle.
She loves Uncle Jeremy. Yes, she does. That's all we hear. Hey, Charles, how are you tonight? Good to see you watching. So, what's it like coming out of retirement?
I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings about it, to be honest with you. I mean, so, it kind of goes back to the whole 28 days haunted thing. I love it when people send me messages and say, oh, that show, I watched that show, that's so fake, it's so this, it's so that, knowing that it almost cost me my life, and it took away something that I was very much in tune to as far as demonology goes. And I had to step back for health problems for what? How long has it been? About 3 years now, I guess, since the show
Yes,
comes
yeah,
out.
probably about 3 years. A lot
So
of people,
it's actually been about 4 years since we filmed, though. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's baby steps right now. It's just one step at a time. I've done made up my mind. I'm not going to do like I did before and take every little case that comes my way here or there and try to save the world. I'm sorry, I can't do that anymore. God will tell me when the right one comes along.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, like you said, a lot of people don't realize, what all you had to go through. Destiny and I was continuously in the loop with Tammy was constantly calling us about you and keeping us updated on your health and stuff while that was going on.
Yeah, it goes to show you that, I blame myself for a lot of what happened because I know better. First of all, I should have never put myself in that location to be on TV in front of the world for the world to see. And two, I should have never freely volunteered to try and step between me, the entity and its and help it complete its mission, make its mission a lot easier, I should say, than It needed to be. But you know what? It goes to show you that at the end of the day, we are only human. And sometimes as humans, we don't make the best decisions.
Absolutely.
That's true. Um, yeah, you think you're putting a lot of the blame on yourself for it, but I don't think, you need to be doing that. I think, a lot of the blame right there goes right on the surroundings, the building you were in, and the entities you were having to deal with.
Right.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I put myself in that situation, and I'm not blaming myself. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me, and that I'm blaming myself. I'm not blaming myself. I am 100% at peace of the decision that I made. But if I can go back and do it differently, would I in fact do it differently? Yes, I would. I would not do it the same way that I done it.
Right. Well, I think we all think that, in different situations. Yeah, I've thought that, on the show that we filmed, there was a lot of things I'd like to have done differently.
Right, but when you're there, it's almost like there's a haze over your thinking when you're there, when you're filming, when you're on location, when you're in these situations. They're high stress situations. You got to deal with film crews, you got to deal with all these different aspects. Even though I could say 28 Days Haunted, we didn't have to deal with film crews for because there was no film crew. I mean, there was a film crew there that was close by the location, but we never seen them. I mean, they had just had cameras in every room, and but it's just kind of like, I guess whenever you're locked in a place like that for 28 days and you can't leave, you have no TV, no cell phone, nothing to occupy your mind on but the house itself. I mean, look, you want to talk about use the word paranormal. Well, that takes on a whole new meaning when you have nothing to distract you from the energy that's within that house.
True.
Right. And also, it's been a long time since we watched 28 Days, but I remember each episode that came on, it was like we were seeing you go through changes. I mean, you could basically just see you changing.
Yeah, and I mean, just and then I will honestly say what y'all saw, it was actually 10 times worse than what y'all saw. I mean, again, you're looking at three teams that filmed for 28 days straight, 24 hours a day. Think of how much footage how much video that is for the producers to go through,
Mhm.
and you got to give each location adequate amount of airtime on 5 40-minute episodes. So there was so much that was cut out that it's not even funny. I mean, look, that show could have had 12 1 hour episodes and it still wouldn't have been enough to really give the audience that aspect of what we actually were going through, through the TV screen, what they were seeing.
Right. Wasn't the camera set up running 24/7?
Yeah, the camera. So whenever every room you went into, there was usually two cameras. There was one caddy corner, so there was always a camera in one corner of the room, and the second camera was in the second corner of the room, and they look toward each other. That way they can get a 360 view. Now there is somebody there watching those cameras 24 hours a day, because you can walk in the room and you can see the camera following you. But after a day or two of being there, you don't even recognize the cameras anymore at that point.
Yeah.
Well, it led up to you having a heart attack and a long recovery. I know it's took a long time and probably will never fully recover. So, what kind of advice do you have for anybody you feel like are putting themselves in a situation like that?
Well, so what made my situation so bad? So, like, as a demonologist, a case that you take on, you go to the location, you're only exposed to that energy inside that location for a short period of time. Okay, so it's not able to affect you as much. But when
Hmm.
you're locked there for 28 days straight and you can't leave, well, it's got all the time in the world. It wants to pounce on you. But the best advice that I can give to any ghost hunter or paranormal investigator out there is, anytime you communicate with a spirit, okay, never invite them in. And never give them an invite, because that's how people get possessed. That's how oppression happens. That's how, in fact, people get demons to enter into their life. Okay, because they have to invite them in. Just like you would invite Christ into your life, you would have to invite them in. But it's a lot simpler than you think. Where I made the mistake was, if you go back and you watch, oh, it's probably either episode 2 or 3, when we're doing an EVP session and the entity says it was going to get Brandy. I forget what it said, but she started crying and she said, it's going to get me. And, I tried to comfort her and I said, if you want to get to her, you got to go through me. Well, that is an open invitation. That is how easy it is. That is me. That is challenging it. Now, at that time, I knew what I was doing. Okay. I knew I would become the target. Okay. But, I'm a demonologist. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. I know the signs of oppression. I know that oppression has to happen before possession. I know all of these things. I know how demons work. I know how demons operate. So I'm thinking, well, I know these signs. I'll be able to catch them and prevent them from happening. Well, I didn't take in effect that whenever you can't separate yourself from an energy, your mind starts to become cloudy. And that's how it takes control.
Right. I know even when we do investigations and we're not there 28 days, but after 2 or 3 hours, sometimes the spirits in that location can just, I don't know, they seem to get next to you. They start messing with you and your team. So we've been known to actually leave the premises for a few minutes and regroup. It's like,
Kind of get a grounding.
right, right. So I can
Yeah.
only imagine 28 days.
Well, we have done one like 3 days in
Yeah,
one
yeah,
location.
yeah.
We
Well,
have.
you see, me, I always had a saying that I always say, I never took my work home with me. There was always Jeremy and there was a demonologist. I only became the demonologist when I had to. So whenever I would leave that location, I leave everything there. I don't come home and try to look up things. I don't study it. I don't ponder on what happened. I basically turn that part of my life off when I'm at home. Okay. And I think that that's always served me well until that point in time when there was no separation.
Yeah.
I couldn't separate myself from it because I was there. I was in it.
Right. And mistakes. I know I've made some. I remember a conversation with you about it. I got my foot broken, and it was my stupidity and yours too.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't take safety precautions attempting an exorcism. And,
Well, we did, but we didn't take enough.
no, we didn't take enough, not near enough. So, that drove me to the point where I didn't want to do it anymore. I was done. Um, we even talked about it, the two of us retiring and just putting it behind us. And it was like, I don't know if there is retirement once you're exposed to spirits and demons. And I don't know, you can separate yourself from it. I understand what you're saying. When you go home, try to leave it all at the door. um, but it does come home with you, even though you try to push it away and keep it separated.
Yeah.
It does. So
Well, I had to go through the same thing. Very similar what you went through, but I was fortunate that I had you and Destiny to step in and help me back.
Yeah, yeah. I
you
mean,
know what he's talking about.
yeah, I remember that day very, very well. So to answer your question about can you ever retire, and I say this in my book, once you walk through that door and you decide to take on an active case, that door will never be shut.
Yeah.
You could retire, but yet, where the light meets the dark, the entities are lurking right there in the darkness, waiting for you to make a mistake or waiting to seek revenge. I mean, it's just like you get in a schoolyard fight with a friend of yours, and he beats you up. Well, you want revenge on him, and you're going to buy your time until that moment comes that's just right for you to attack him. Well, they think the same way. That's how they operate. Um, as far as not bringing your work home with you, yeah, look, once you learn how to control your thoughts and your energy within yourself, once you, let's see how I can say this, once you're in tune to your spiritual senses, you can protect yourself fairly well, from bringing stuff home with you. But you have to be able to separate yourself from the initial energy. In other words, so think of when you sleep at night. Most people have a sheet on top of them and then a blanket on top of the sheet. Well, you have to remove the blanket and you can keep the sheet on in order for your body to get air, right? To start airing itself out. And then once your body gets adjusted to the temperature with the sheet on, then you can remove it.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like an onion, man. You got to peel it back in layers. You can't do it all at one time. You have to pull it back over time. And once you learn how to do that, you can protect yourself. You know, I'm not going to say 100%, but about 90%, I will say, and feel good about saying that. From being exposed to bringing anything back with you, because again, they have to be invited in.
Right.
Right. Absolutely right. I know we saw you at a Paracon last month in Dothan, Alabama. You do have a lot of Paracons scheduled for the rest of this year?
Yeah, my wife kind of took over as being my 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 event manager. I have the Deep South Paranormal coming up next month, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Stan and them. I'm looking forward to that. I didn't get to go last year, but I went to the 2 or 3 previous years, and it seems that every year it is growing and growing. So I heard last year was really big, so I'm waiting to see how good it's going to be this year. I'm actually kind of really excited to go. Not only that, I get to hang out with you and Stan and all my friends and stuff like that. Because once you run the Paracon circuit for a while, you get to be really good friends with a lot of people. So
You do. You do.
I'm looking forward to that. I have a couple. I know I have one in New Orleans coming up. I have one in Idaho, I think, and 2 or 3 other ones. I'm not really sure. I just go when she. I just go where she says go.
You're a good husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deep South Paracomic-Con. It's like a family reunion every year. We've been to each and every one, and it is getting bigger every year.
Yeah, it is. It's
All
getting
the
much
guests
bigger
are
every year.
fantastic. You know, awesome vendors, and we'll give a big plug on Deep South at the end of the podcast. But it is an awesome event. It really, really is. And Teresa sent me some codes for free tickets. So we're going to be giving away tickets when I
Oh,
find the code.
sweet.
So, I've got a few I'll be able to give away. We may be doing some contest or different things like that in order to make sure if you're planning on coming and you want to save that 8 or 10 bucks on the admission, hey, we can probably help you out with that.
Yeah. Now, when you were doing the show, Jeremy, how much of the intense stuff actually got aired, and how much did not make it to the TV screen?
So I'd probably only say out of the intense stuff, maybe 10% of it actually got aired. There were so many out of the box experiments that me and Brandy done that didn't make it on television. And I'll tell you one in particular. We had KD build us a giant Jacob's ladder. All right. So the wire itself was probably about 4 foot tall. It was huge. And it was hooked to like a big car battery. And then it had a big insulator that you actually have on power lines outside. And we had a fog machine, and we charged the fog as it went through the Jacob's ladder. So if you know anything about spirits, spirits
Oh,
can
yeah.
use that as energy to manifest themselves. And we took a bunch of pictures just in the fog, man, and we found so many images of spirits, especially of the Larson family, that we could compare photos to 100% say yes, that is them that we found in the fog, but they didn't air none of that. Again, I think that what happened was whenever they filmed 28 Days Haunted, they initially thought there was going to be a lot more episodes than what they actually had. And I think at some point Netflix probably cut the episodes in half before it aired, and that's really what happened. I think
Yeah.
that 28 days to me is, I'm not fond of it. Uh, I just think that for a huge carrier like Netflix, they really dropped the ball on having such short episodes. If there would have been more episodes, they would have been a lot longer. I think a lot more people would
Right.
have understood a lot of the reason why things happen or played out the way they did. Not with just me and Brandy, but the other teams as well.
Right. Right. You see, yeah, I remember seeing, the other teams that, as they would cut back and do a segment with the other teams and then go back to you and Brandy, and then we would see one of the other teams. And I was curious how much intense stuff happened to the other teams.
I don't really know. I mean, I don't know what happened with the other teams. I know that I talked to Nick every once in a while, and he said that also there was a lot of stuff that they thought that should have been aired that they didn't air. With his team, and he was at the captain something in
Yeah. Yeah.
so, but yeah, I mean, I don't think none of us, as far as the cast is concerned, was really too thrilled with the final product. And look, I'm going to say this: it's not the production team. The production team that actually was out there filming it and created the episodes. Look, they're a fabulous production company. I mean, I worked with them on Ghost of Morgan City, so I got to feel how they really operate and how they do things. And it's a wonderful company to work for. But it was just at the end of the day, the networks have to say so. So a lot of people don't understand that whenever you film a TV show and the company is finished with an episode, they have to send it to the network, and the network will watch it and say, "Well, I want you to change this. I want you to do that, do this and that." But that's the same way they do with movies too. Like Disney, Star Wars is well known for the studios actually butchering the Star Wars series, and that's just kind of how it goes. I think if the coach would just stay out of it and let the people that know the paranormal create shows,
Hmm.
then everything would be a lot better. But that's not how it is.
Michelle has a good question. Was it 28 days because that's how long it took for the Amityville haunting?
Yes, 28 days is based off of the Lutz family. They spent 28 days in the house.
Yeah.
And if people that don't know, 28 Days Haunted has a connection to Ed and Lorraine Warren, their son-in-law,
Yes.
Tony. He was one of the narrators, and that's what it was based off. It was based off of, in order to experience the full potential of a haunting, it takes 28 days, and it gains strength every day. And I will say that that's 100% true because look, I've never been in a location. You hear where all these people that have haunted experience or lived in a haunted house, they would always say they hear voices and stuff. And as a paranormal investigator, I mean, you think you hear something every once in a while. You hear something through the spirit box, but I mean, like audibly hearing it with your ears, like where there's no saying, "Oh no, that's not real." I mean, you could literally hear it.
Hmm.
So I would say after about day 12 or 13, you start hearing voices. You could distinguish between it's a man or a female voices. You can distinguish whether it's a male and a female talking or two males talking. You can literally hear it, but you can't understand what they're saying because it's like they're talking so fast. And I know from being a demonologist, the spiritual world, okay, they things move really fast. It doesn't move like we do here in the flesh. In the spirit world, when we see a ghost or something or a spirit or look, take for example when we went to the that hospital in
Right.
Alabama with you, and they had the elemental that I seen running across the floor, and
Hmm.
you had the SLS camera, and you was able to confirm that, and it was moving extremely fast. That's how spiritual activities move. That's how a lot of people say they see orbs. Well, look, 90% of what people perceive to be orbs is nothing but dust. Now, if you see something move extremely fast that looks like, a dust or a dust, then it very well could be an actual orb, but they move really fast.
Right, they do. And that would explain why people say they think they see something, they turn and it's gone.
Right,
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 absolutely. Because the brain doesn't have enough time to comprehend what your eyes have saw.
right, right.
Right.
A lot of times they catch it out of the corner of their eye or their peripheral.
Or you
Yeah,
see you go to put it on it, it's gone.
yeah, and there's two reasons for that. One is because, like we say, spiritual activity moves really fast. Number two is that so we're all programmed. And what I mean by program, we're all programmed what to believe in, what not to believe in. We're programmed by society. Now, as kids, it's very common for kids to have imaginary friends. Well, why is that? It's because kids don't know what's real and what's not. They only see what's
Right.
there, right? The
Mhm.
brain is innocent. It's untainted. It's unprogrammed. As you grow up, you're taught that all ghosts are not real. So the brain doesn't know how to process it. To give you an example, so the brain is always going to try to make sense of randomness and tie it to something that is familiar with. Just like you can look up in the sky and at a cloud and you're going to see a Volkswagen, you're going to see, a bird, something
Right.
that your brain is familiar with, because your brain has to tie it into something that is able to comprehend. Spiritual activity, it's not able to completely comprehend it. That's why you see it, but it's out of the corner of your eye, because the brain really doesn't know what to do with that information.
Right.
Right, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Which, we've had a lot of clients over the years tell us that. That's what
Yeah.
they were experiencing in their homes or their buildings or whatever. And
Right.
they would always have the claim, of seeing things out of the corner of their eye, or they'd catch a flash of something.
Or
Mm-hmm.
hear voices and they can tell if it's male or
Right,
female.
right.
They just can't make out what they're saying.
Right.
We
Right.
heard a lot.
Well, I've heard it too on investigations, but never intensely as I had with 28 Days Haunted. Look, the last week we were there. This is how bad it got. The last week we were there, Brandy, the girl that I was there with, and she wrote a book, and it's actually in her book because I read part of it. The last week she would refuse, when the sun went down, she would refuse to be in that house until the sun came up. I think the last week we were there, we only were in the house one night, um, at night, and that's whenever I done the exorcism upstairs, which they didn't show in the show. All they did was show me confront the entity, but they didn't show me later actually doing. So me confronting the entity probably happened in week 3 towards the end. And I would say that the exorcism that was done on the house actually happened the day before we left.
Right.
And see, they didn't show any of that. But I mean, it is what it is.
It would have been good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it would have been good to see. But if you want to get an idea of what it's like to do an exorcism in the house, all you got to do is watch Ghost of Morgan City,
Yeah, I was just thinking
episode
about that.
episode 7, I think it is. Or you'll see me do it at the end of episode 7.
All right, Michelle's just commenting about because she was at that investigation at the hospital. Michael had the SLS, and yeah, as Jeremy described what it was doing, Michael was catching every movement on the SLS.
Yeah, I was actually seeing it on the SLS.
Yes.
And when this entity,
And
Jeremy,
Jeremy couldn't see the screen on the SLS.
no,
So...
he couldn't see the screen on the SLS.
Right, right.
But he invited the entity to touch his back, and I caught it on the SLS. It actually showed it reaching up and touching Jeremy on the back.
That was Miss Nellie or
Yeah,
something.
Miss Nellie or whoever it was.
I can't remember her name. But so, what would you like
Or ladies,
to see in the? Oh, go ahead.
room.
Yeah, in one of the patient rooms.
Yeah.
The spirit there that.
You there?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you
Hello.
hear us? Stan did mention to us he was having a storm.
Hello. We seem to be having some audio problems going on here right now.
Well, our producer Stan had told us that they had a bad storm coming, so it may be affecting. I don't even know if we're still live on here. I can go check and see. But there is a bad storm. I can't tell if we're still.
Hello.
Can you
Hello.
hear me?
All right, I'm
Hello.
back. Sorry about that.
All right.
You there?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Tammy.
Jeremy can't hear us. Maybe Stan can fix it for us. But yeah, Stan did mention they were having a bad storm headed their way. So the technical issues are probably the storm. So we should get it back up here in just a few minutes.
Hello, Jeremy. Can you hear us yet?
I see John Covey is watching. Hey there, guys. Hey.
Hey, John. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Okay, here we go. We have Tammy says, hey guys. John Covey says, well, hey there, guys. We need a big class reunion for the demonology class you taught, that first class.
Well, you need to ask Tammy, being she's on there, why in the world would she call me when she knows I'm doing the interview and it kicks me off of the interview?
Well, it's okay.
Well, we can't leave Tammy out.
No.
I mean,
we love Tammy too.
Yeah, and what we were talking about Nellie's room, Michelle says you were in front of us after we came out of Nellie's room is when it touched you, I guess.
Yeah, see, I don't. So most people like y'all use equipment and stuff when y'all investigate. I normally don't. I don't use nothing but my intuition. I walk into a room and it's almost like night vision comes on, but I call it spirit vision. I can sense things. I can sense where they're at. I can sense when they move, different things like that.
Yeah, good. I remember that same investigation you were talking about. Then we started having those experiences, and you were sensing this entity on the floor crawling around.
Yeah, that was the elemental.
Yeah, the elemental.
Yeah, yeah, that was in the hallway. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that place is full of energy because you got so many people that actually go through there and do investigations to where it's just charged with spiritual activity.
Yeah, it stays charged. It stays. I mean, the spirits are able to be constant. Very often. Like no telling how many times we interacting, and so they're like, "Hey,
yeah,
this is our home. Let's talk to our guests."
But both instances on that particular investigation, I was able to verify with the SLS as you were interacting with them.
Yeah. I would actually love to go back to that place, but go back during the winter time and just spend 48 hours in the house. Just live there for 48 hours.
We did.
We did 48 hours in there.
Did.
And that's when it really ramped up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, though, it was in the middle of the summertime and it was so hot.
Oh, it was hot July.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I would like to go, like the end of October or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been there too when it was super cold.
Yeah, but you can always, heat yourself up by putting on more clothes, but you can only take so many clothes off without going to jail,
No. I understand. I completely understand.
or at least running everybody out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You are cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah.
We did stay there.
We want to try not
For,
to go to go.
you were going in and out.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we
Let's
did,
try something.
and we maybe got there on a Friday night. We spent Friday night, Saturday night, and packed up and left on Sunday. Overnight, there was a lot of activity going on. Like, for example, we were down in the courtyard, and from the courtyard looking up to the second floor, maybe.
Yeah, it's the second floor.
We could see light moving across, and it looked like to us it was moving like under a blind or something, moving across in that room. And so we decided we were going to go up and check it out because nobody was supposed to be in that room. None of our team was staying in that room, and we know that at that point in time that our guides had left, completely left the building so that they could go get something to eat. So I believe it was Chris Metcalf and you. They went to the door and they were going to open the door. Well, something was holding the door and wouldn't let them in. So their first thought is, hey, somebody's in there and they're holding the door. Michael got the door open a little bit and went to stick his hand in the door to pull it out. And he got his hand moved back just in time before that door slammed shut.
Yeah, it slammed shut.
So
Yeah.
after that episode, I mean, they just reach for the handle and the door opens right up. The whole room is vacant. It was pretty much impossible for light to be coming underneath the blind because the whole window was dark tinted.
Who
So
who
how we
owns
were
that
seeing
place
the light,
now?
I don't know.
Who owns that place now?
Uh, Ron D, the,
Yeah,
the
we
same
need.
the same one,
I need
and he's got another hospital, Harriman Hospital. We haven't been there, but it's definitely a place that we've got on the list to go to.
yeah, we need to get in touch with that guy.
Yeah, I agree with Tammy. Glad to have, you're getting back into the paranormal. Tammy's getting back into the paranormal. And, we just need to start scheduling some stuff together here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, as far as even though I don't use paranormal equipment that much, I got all kinds of paranormal equipment now.
Well, you had some before, but you just didn't use it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I still got it all. I mean, but
Yeah.
it's probably got about 2 inches of dust on it. It needs to be
Dust
burnt
that
off.
stuff off and get busy. Yeah, Tammy
Yeah.
said, so glad we are getting back into the paranormal world and seeing everyone. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was good to see y'all last month, Tammy. It was very good, and it made our hearts happy to see both of you guys. So a lot of people may not know that Tammy is actually a part of your paranormal team, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's part of the. She's always been part of it for the past 12, 13, 12 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's always there in the background somewhere.
Yep.
I know that Tammy, she's like top of the line when it comes to interviewing potential clients.
Yes, she is. She's good.
I learned a lot listening to her doing an interview.
We'll have to have her on the podcast sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Have her on there. Believe me, she can
Yeah, we
talk.
will.
She can talk y'all to death.
But yeah, it would be fun to go back to the hospital, Jeremy.
It would. It would definitely be, especially to go during the wintertime. But I'd like to go and be able to spend, like I say, about the whole, get there on a Friday evening and not have to leave until, Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the way to do it. To do a real thorough investigation and, really spend the time to get the entities that are there, to ramp up.
Right, and not only that, I think it would be beneficial to actually spend time in there, doing everyday tasks like just hanging out, talking, eating, and stuff like that. Because even though you're still there, so they're still drawing energy from you being there, and that might actually help the activity ramp up.
Right. We're going back to Pauley Jail June the 12th. We're going to do
Oh,
investigation.
I gotta go, guys. I knew it was gonna happen.
Okay. All right.
All right.
It's good to have you on.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. If a lot of you are wondering why we did not have Jeremy, where you could see Jeremy, is because he's at work and he's not allowed to have a camera at work to do podcast or anything like that. So, we got his voice, and so that was good. But he is at work and he works for the fire department. So you heard yourself that he got the call and he had to go. But we already knew that could happen. But yeah, we do need to set something up with them. I would love to do something like that. But I was just about to say that we're going to attempt to do an investigation with Webb Paranormal Group. And this investigation, it probably, I don't know how long y'all can go without using the upgraded
I don't know. Between the four of us, because what she's talking about is Stan and Teresa with Webb Paranormal, and myself and Destiny are teaming up, and we're going to do an old school investigation.
Yes, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I have not made my stuff I wanted to make, but I'm going to try my bestest to get it done. Can you imagine doing an investigation and just like using baby powder?
Uh-huh.
We did that one time on my coffee table at the house. And I was just demonstrating for Michelle, and we had the portal out. And when I put the baby powder out on the table, we had a voice come through the portal saying baby powder.
Right.
So, I know they were watching.
Yeah, we're talking old school, though. We're talking
Yes.
the baby powder. Instead of using a K2 or any other type of EMF meter, we're talking about using a compass.
Yeah, different things like that. So,
because the compass will react, which a lot of people didn't realize that.
Yeah, we're going to be trying to get some video of this too, and sharing on our Facebook page. So it's going to be great and marvelous. And don't forget, the Paracon that we were talking about earlier is Deep South Paracomicon. It's in Enterprise, Alabama. And if you've never been to Deep South Paracomicon, you're in for a treat if you can come this year. There's going to be great guests there. It's August. Thank you, Stan. It's August the 8th, because he knows I can't remember nothing. Deep South Paracomicon, August the 8th and 9th at the Enterprise Civic Center, Enterprise, Alabama. And there's a lot of special guests going to be there.
Jeremy and Tammy will be there.
Yes, Jeremy and Tammy Leonard will be there. Michael and I will be there. And I'm hoping maybe a member or two of our team can join us to help us out at the table. Michael will be doing a workshop, and this workshop is $11. And during this workshop, you're going to learn a lot. I'm not sure how much I can say, but there's a possibility that you may be able to speak to a spirit during this workshop. No promises, no guarantees, no money back guarantee, but there is a possibility. A real life
There's
spirit.
Always a possibility.
Well,
there's always a possibility.
Passed away spirit.
Yeah. You never know, because what we're going to be doing, and I'm not going to give that away.
No.
I'm not going to give that away, but it's going to be good, and it's going to be well worth your time.
Right. So go to Deep South Paracomicon, check out their website. I'm sure there's directions on there where you can go and purchase a ticket for Michael's workshop. It's going to be fun. DeepSouthParacomicon.com. And I can't wait. I may have to close our table down so I can come in there. I'm so excited.
Guys, there is still some ground roots paranormal investigators out there like myself and Destiny and
Mm-hmm.
Stan and Teresa and Jeremy and Tammy. We're all of us, all six of us, are very close friends, and we're down to earth investigators when we get to doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
We've had the opportunity to investigate with everybody, and it's just awesome. It's really awesome when it happens. And Destiny and I have some good people on our team that know what they're doing.
Sometimes. I'm playing. We do have a top-notch team.
We sure do.
We look out for each other, and they look out for me. And it's a great family of paranormal and investigators. We hardly bring in anybody new because we have our little quirky ways, and you just got to be that certain somebody. You have to be the right fit. So
I don't know. You get used to somebody, you want to keep the same people.
I know.
You know?
If it ain't broke, don't fix
Yeah.
it. Charles says, I've got to tell you something. My ex-wife has a portable light in her room, and it has to be touched to come on. And a couple of times last week it came on. She has a picture of her sister who passed in November, and I believe it was her sister. Could have been.
Never know.
Sounds like a paranormal investigation to me. But yeah, we're gonna have some other guests there. I may need Stan's help. Letriana Terry Brown is going to be there, and I'm sure everybody that comes knows Lee. I mean, she has workshops, television personality. She has her own series of podcasts, and she is a great person. And her husband Matt Brown will be there. Jatin Patel, the Redneck Raja. I have heard a lot about him. I think I saw him there last year, but I didn't get a real big chance. Robert Mukes. And let me tell you something. I was looking him up. Michelle and I were talking about him today. And so we were Googling him, and he is a tall fella. And he was on Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, and he's been on several other movies, lots of horror movies. And I'm sure if you're into horror flicks, you have seen some of his movies. And also we have, look at that, Richard and Colleen Johnson. And this couple is amazing. They run a paranormal team. Richard also makes paranormal equipment, and his wife Colleen, I think, makes cups and stuff too. They had cups everywhere at their table. Everybody that came through had a cup in their hand or still in the box, and they were amazing. These are amazing people. They're friendly, they're down to earth, and we just love them. And we're also going to have Keith Age, the rock and roll ghost hunter. And Keith is an amazing man. He is funny.
Keith is.
Yes, he is. You just have to meet him. Y'all have got to come and meet Keith Age. And also we have Ken Gerhard.
Oh, yeah.
I am a fan of his. I watch some of his shows on a haunted streaming network that I have. And if you want to know anything about cryptids or Bigfoot, Ken's your guy. I can't remember the name of the show it is, though, but it's good. The next time I'll post it sometimes what it is. And we also have Debbie Hawk Hutchinson. I love Debbie.
Yeah, Debbie.
I just love her. I really
Can't wait
really
to see
do.
her again.
And it's on my bucket list. I want to partner up with Debbie on a paranormal investigation, just she and I want to investigate with Debbie. A lot of people would say they'd want some of these big name people been on TV, like Jeremy or, all them big, well-known people. I just want Debbie.
Yeah.
I want to investigate with Debbie. Also, we have Martha Hazard Decker, and she is an author. And I haven't read any of her books, but I may have to pick up one or two and off her table. So you definitely want to come and meet her and pick up one of her books. I I don't know her personally, but I've heard she is an amazing person, and I can't wait to meet her. And also, we have James Stokes. James was Jason or Freddie, or was it neither one?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Um, we met him last year, and he is such a cool guy. And I think he played Jason. No. Anyway, he was on TV. Help me out, Stan. I'm just digging a deeper hole here.
Don't.
I'll have all this written down next week.
We'll do better.
But yes,
We'll do
yes.
better.
Very
Forgive
friendly
us.
guy. And a lot of people who've been on TV, you know, they're like snooty and all. He wasn't like that. He wasn't at all. And we also have, I think that's it. Oh, Gwen Johns. Can't forget Gwen. I know she's going to be there. And Blaine Rowan. Oh, Blaine. Blaine is such a good person. He is so spiritual. I've learned some stuff from him. The Alabama Ghostbusters, the Ashford Dothan Division. Oh my goodness, Ben is.
Yeah, Ben.
He's a good guy. And last year
we can't have a Paracon without Ben.
No, it's unimaginable.
We cannot have a Paracon
happen.
without Ben.
And we also have vendors, several vendors, and there are vendor spots still available. I'm not sure on the inside. There may be some, but on the outside, there's plenty of room. There's going to be vendors on the inside. There's going to be vendors on the outside. And I love it. And if you want more information, go to Deep South Paracomic-Con. And I promise you, everything you want to know is located there. Or check out the Facebook page, Deep South Paracomic-Con. You can keep up with it good on the Facebook page. You know, if they bring new talent in, if they just, hey, well, you guess who we've got coming now? You know, you want to keep up with this stuff, because if they don't have somebody you like now, promise you, there may be one coming.
And there's going to be two TV personalities there that just filmed a show here recently, or last year, I think it was. Stan and Teresa Fikes.
Yes.
They are top notch, and they're not as snooty as you think, because they're TV fans.
Tammy says she's looking forward to it. I am too. I just want to see you again so bad. I'm so excited. Yeah, Stan and Teresa are our producers of our show, and we are so blessed to have them allow us on the show, because sometimes we get slack with baseball and different things. That's why, you know, we haven't been on schedule, but baseball season has ended. But I do want to talk about my baby Jace. Jace is into baseball big time. I mean, he is a baseball player. And their team is going to the Georgia State playoffs championship. So, you know, I hope they win. I hope they go all the way. But I'm not going to be able to go to Southeast Georgia for this event. But my heart's going to be there with him. And I hope they bring home the gold. I hope they win it. I really do. They deserve it. And so that's the reason, you know, we haven't been on schedule. But we're on track now. There ain't no stopping us. Deep South Paracomic-Con, August 8th and 9th at the Enterprise Civic Center. And we hope we will see you there. Until next time, from Michael and Destiny Fox, peace and love.
Good night, everybody.